Many of my videos got demonetized again because YouTube restricted my account, just like as I made news about the Wuhan pneumonia, now it is news about the situation in the US. Your Patreon or YouTube membership support can now help me make better news for all of you. Thanks for your support. Now the news to start. The United States is the country in the world that the most respect his soldiers. Even when soldiers walk on the street, people appreciate them, and it is common for citizens to pay for soldiers in restaurants and other places. However, it turns out that the Biden administration didn't treat the soldier properly on the day of the inauguration, which has caused quite a stir in the United States. According to the US media Politico, the soldiers sent to the inauguration of Biden were ordered to retreat to the underground car park after the inauguration ceremony was over. The group was first to rest in the nearby parking garage without internal reception, with just one electrical outlet and one bathroom with 2 stalls for 5,000 troops. This approach made many Americans very angry, and they say that is this Joe Biden's dealing with American soldiers? Angry about this treatment, one soldier said like this: "Yesterday, dozens of senators and congressmen walked down our lines, taking photos, shaking our hands, and thanking us for our service. Within 24 hours, they had no further use for us and banished us to the corner of the parking garage." As soon as the news came out, Republican Congressman Madison Cawthon, who had a Para Plaza, drove straight to the parking lot. Madison Cawthon delivered the pizza to the soldiers and loved to tweet like this: "I just visited the soldiers who have been abandoned and insulted by our leaders. I brought them pizza and told them they can sleep in my office. No soldiers will ever sleep on the garage floor in the US Capitol while I work in the Congress. Our troops deserve better." In the meantime, Trump opened his 5-star Trump's Hotel in Washington, D.C. for the soldiers and the police officers. Also, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer tweeted, "If this is true, it's outrageous. I will get to the bottom of this." After this incident, the Biden administration was severely criticized and sent soldiers back to the Capitol. But this was insufficient to appease the already angry Americans and the U.S. military. Texas, New Hampshire, and Florida were very upset about the bad treatment of the soldiers and even said to withdraw their troops from the state. Even in this situation, YouTube's attempt to help Joe Biden, even though it claims to be politically neutral, has been revealed. It turned out that YouTube was manipulating dislike numbers. According to the picture taken by an internet user on the 21st on the video of Jen Psaki, White House press secretary, YouTube changed the number from the 10,000 dislike to 3,000. I realized this too. During my preparation for the news, I could see with my own eyes how YouTube deleted the dislikes. This video was filmed shortly after the inauguration when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were participating in the wrestling ceremony. I took one picture at a time in the morning and one in the evening at the 23rd. And while the views had risen to 50,000, the likes increased by 700 and the dislikes decreased by 100. YouTube takes a position on this and states that it only fought against the spammers. In this situation, Amazon with its statement particularly makes people sit up and take notice and developed quickly into a hot topic. A Democratic strong supporters, Bezos and Amazon, are the ones who banned Parler from Amazon's server, because there were many people in Parler talking about rigged elections through postal voting. However, Jeff Bezos and Amazon were aiming to postpone a unionization vote at one of its warehouses in Alabama. Amazon has requested that the National Labor Relations Board reconsider allowing mail-in voting, claiming that the mail-in voting process has serious and systemic flaws. Bezos and Amazon are doing all they can to prevent any shady activity when workers cast their ballot for unionization, and they are particularly concerned about the integrity of the mail-in ballots. Amazon spokesperson tells CNN the company is seeking a valid, fair, and successful election and suggests that only in-person voting can ensure that. The NLRB says a mail ballot election will enfranchise employees who cannot enter the voting location for health reasons or due to C-19, fearing an unfavorable outcome. However, Amazon now insists that the current C-19 outbreaks aren't dangerous enough to warrant this NLRB decision. Of the 7,575 Amazon employees and their affiliates, 218 people were infected with C-19. So 2.88% of the employees were infected with C-19 for 2 weeks by January 7th. But now Amazon claims that the C-19 outbreak is not that serious and postal voting is never safe, and only person voting is a reliable way to vote. That's why countless people criticize Amazon and Bezos' decision to choose a different voting approach after the presidential election. The following is the position of the Joe Biden administration on China. Foreign Minister candidate Antony Blinken announced the 19th that he would continue Trump's tough policy toward China and raise people's expectations. But within a few days, he showed his true colors. From now on, you will see the State Department website of Joe Biden and Trump's. I compared this with the 2017 to 2021 archived content when Trump was serving as a president. As you can see, the State Department website changed the praise the Chinese Communist Party is threatening global peace and security to U.S. relations with China. The State Department website had also deleted 7 parts in the policy section, such as 5G security, Iran is a dangerous regime, the China challenge, Venezuela is a democratic crisis, illegal immigrants. This confirms that the political direction of Joe Biden. It seems like the new U.S. administration has decided to move even closer to China. Next is the National Guard in Washington, D.C. The inauguration ceremony is long over, but the National Guard in Washington, D.C. has still not been withdrawn, and many people are curious about it. Biden's Security Bureau and the federal government have asked the National Guard to protect Washington, D.C. until mid-March. The mayor of the Washington, D.C., Murray Bowser, supported the BLM movement and has pointed in large, bold yellow letters, Black Lives Matter in the street of the Capitol. Includes her, mainstream media and left-side politicians didn't condemn the riots of the Antifa and the BLM. However, the Biden government was embarrassed when the BLM and Antifa launched unexpected attacks on Democratic buildings as soon as they took office. They also burned the American flag in the middle of the street on Inauguration Day. The mainstream media has so far paved the BLM and Antifa's arson and looting as a protest, but did not condemn about their terrible behavior.
What you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis.
It says it right in the name, Antifa, anti-fascism, which is what they were there fighting. Listen, there's, no organization is perfect. There was some violence.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
I don't care that much about statues.
Shouldn't that be done by a commission or the city council, not a mob in the middle of the night throwing it into the harbor?
People will do what they do.
People get mad and people get sick of it. People are risking COVID to explain to this country that we're fed up.
What you're seeing behind me is one of multiple locations that have been burning in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
However, for now, some of the BLM Antifa were calling for no cop, no prisons, no borders, even no president. That's why some of the Democratic politicians are very frustrated about the actions of BLM and Antifa. Of course, still now Joe Biden and the mainstream media are not talking about the current BLM and Antifa riots. However, even though there were some riots in the U.S., this does not explain the demands, the extension of the deployment of the National Guard in the Washington, D.C. What has been most prominent since the U.S. presidential election is that many things that have previously been portrayed as a conspiracy theories, such as globalist, big tech, and deep state, have been proven kind of true. The U.S. presidential elections are behind us, but still there are many unsolved puzzles, incidents, and things are the cause in the U.S. What do you think of this video? Thanks for watching, comment, likes, and sharing. Be safe.